Hello and welcome to the theElpyDimension. I am your guide Elpy, and it is the 6th of September 2025, and this is mixed worm bin number 1. Now this may be the only bin I didn't get to on the 23rd. The temperature in there is below 70. Huh, yeah, I wonder. I don't think we've been in here for a minute. It looks pretty weird, because we got all this mess. And I wonder, yeah, I think I was planning on still needing to harvest this stuff over here. I do not have an empty bucket right now. Oh yeah, this stuff is prime. It's a little muddy down there, but oh man, shoot. Yeah. My whole plan just changed. Okay, I had to empty this bucket because this bucket was full of paper, shredded paper that's been sitting for a while. And it's got kind of a sour smell to it, but I'm not worried about it. I'm not gonna fuss too much with picking worms out right now. I know I always say that, and I wound up picking some out, but really hadn't planned on, because I wasn't paying attention. But this stuff looks great. This population is not quite, this has always been my best population. The other populations are, I've always said this is the best and the biggest, but then bin 2 is the second oldest population, and they came up in the running, and then bin 4 really showed out late last year. And this bin, since it's been neglected, has not been quite as I don't know, I just, last time I remember feeling like, oops, sorry. All right, so this is a little less than 2 gallons. Yeah, I did harvest a bunch out here. It was ultimately what I was getting after. And because this population isn't as strong as they once were, I'm not super keen on removing individuals. Sometimes in the past I've not really cared. But we're also going into the cold season, so castings survive the winter, or cocoons, but not necessarily the worms. Sometimes I have seen them, but it's not guaranteed. So, but we'll see. All right, so there we go. Now this bin's totally harvested, and I'm going to add the wonky paper. Their feeding is going to go in the side that's already that is a paper bag that I tore in half. But the feeding will go in the old material, just because I'm feeling like this stuff being a little bit sour. Well, it's a lot sour. I'm not overly concerned. I just feel like I would like to let them move over here as they see fit. And I'm sure that they're hungry. So dry mix, diatomaceous earth, neem cake, azomite rock dust, ground kelp. I'm pretty sure it's kelp, not alfalfa. I need to stop saying pretty sure and go ahead and figure it out. Just to add some extra trace minerals to the bin. All right, maybe I don't want to give them all of this, because I did plan on feeding some other bins. So, all right. We also need to check on, it's been 2 weeks since I upgraded the blue worms to a slightly bigger bin. Yeah, okay. So yeah, I'm going to put the food in their old material so that they can, if they don't like the nature of this, oh, those are those questionable tea bags. They're all dried out now. But yeah, if they don't like the nature of the new material, then they won't need to go into it to get their food until they're ready. Or until it's ready. So this looks like just torn up paper from last time. We've still got our gloves that look, our commercially compostable gloves that we're just seeing how long it would take them, if at all, to break down in home compost. Yeah, so just seeing a bunch of worms, which is good. No explosions of worms. Last time, that's what this population, like I said, has always been super strong. So it was ooh, yay! Yay! Hi guys! How are you? Yeah, so it was a nice cluster, but no, it wasn't big at all. Melon seeds. Yeah, so in this population, so this is the melon skin. I would really normally find really large amounts of worms. And I feel like in between the various harvests and me just neglecting them, that this population is not thriving as much as it has. So hopefully with the new material, gosh man, I feel like all my harvests this spring and summer were just good material, but not very comprehensive on my end in terms of really getting the old stuff out. And if I'm correct, if I recall, it was largely to do with the material just being way too wet and not being able to just clean out a half like I normally do. And I say that because I feel like I keep getting in these bins that I call harvested. Or maybe I'm just underestimating. No, it really does feel like there's so much already broken down material in a bin that is supposed to be harvested. I mean, it looks good. It's not overly wet at all. It's not wet at all, actually. It's really pretty nice. That's our piece of wood that we keep in here. So it is nice. It's good material, doesn't stink at all. The population, though, is much smaller than it has been, than I would like for it to be. So So that's not very cool. But it is what it is. So I know we just fed over here, and I am actually, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna feed in the front, right up next to the new stuff. Yeah, so there's a lot of worms in this, don't get me wrong. But relative to what this population normally is, this is not a lot of worms. When you consider that, sure, what I just harvested out of this half, there's a bunch of worms in there, but not a whole lot, a whole heck of a lot. I'm not gonna give them any other new material. So for this feeding, it's gonna just go, even though, you know, they say you can't give too much carbon, I've heard, especially recently, and I believe that. So that makes me think maybe I should. No. Okay, hold on. All right, these guys are going to get a moldy ear of corn in the husk, dried out sweet potato that I cut into chunks, rotting onions, garlic scapes that somehow got completely forgotten about, a couple of radishes, the slips, the sprouts growing off of the sweet potatoes, and a half of a moldy avocado. And then I'm going to put all the old paper over it. Maybe we'll tuck a little bit into the side. All right. And I'm going to fold this back over, this other material. Again, we'll tuck that down in there. All right. We will go ahead and spread this out a little bit over the new stuff. Okay. Well, bin 1 is officially fully harvested. Yeah, we'll just make do like with bin number 4. I'm just going to make do with how much leftover castings there are, which will most likely result in another harvest sooner than later. Probably not before the cold sets in. But we'll see, because I will need castings to plant my garlic, but that's not for another month, maybe 6 weeks, mid to end of October. So, yeah. All right, well, let me know what you think. It's not the best material in terms of feeding, but yeah, that's what we got for these guys. All right, thank you so much for your time and your interest. Let me put these blankets back over top. They did have someone else's blanket, someone else's worm blanket that they didn't need anymore. And I think that's actually bin number 4. So we can give that back to them. All right. Be safe, be well. Bye for now.